hello, and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Claudia, and today we're making some tomato jam. The sweet kind that goes on bread, not the savory kind. I grew up with my grandma making tomato jam every August. Today we're gonna recreate that recipe, and as you know, with any grandma, there's not really any weights or measurements, and this is the way that she taught me and the way I make it. So for that, we're gonna need 2 baskets of very ripe tomato. These are just like the garden tomatoes. We're going to need juice of a lemon. I'm using coconut sugar. You can use brown sugar or yellow sugar. It's just going to give it a richer taste. And the lemon is used to bring out the pectin in the tomato. We're also gonna need some cinnamon sticks and some cloves. I'm also reusing jam jars. So I have 6 here. I'm not quite sure how many we'll need, but we're gonna start off with 6. Let's get into it. Bora cozinhar. So I've gone ahead and washed my tomatoes, and now I'm going to remove like the core up here and just dice them up. I'm keeping the tomato peels and the seeds because not only is it high in nutrients, it's also going to help develop the pectin and forming the jam. So let's go ahead and chop up the tomatoes. So at the end, we can also take the immersion blender, which is going to help to break up the tomato pieces and the skins and the seeds. So you won't be able to see them as much. I grew up eating it like that, so it doesn't really bother me. But if you want, you can remove the skin of the tomato and take out the seeds. We also want to remove any, I'm gonna get a smaller knife. We also want to remove any blemishes from the tomatoes. So I'm just cutting it up like this, and then I'm just chopping it up and putting it in here. Okay, so tomatoes are all chopped up and I weighed them out. I have 4 kilos and 200 grams, which means we need 2 kilos and 100 grams of sugar. So the ratio that you're looking for is 2 and 1. Always half of how many tomatoes you have. Okay, so now I'm gonna add all my ingredients into a big stock pot. Okay, so now that we have all the ingredients in the pot, we're gonna give it a good stir. We wanna make sure that the sugar is completely incorporated, and then it's going on the stove and we're gonna bring it to a boil. After we bring it to a boil, we lower it to like a medium simmer, and we're gonna cook it for 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. Okay, it has come to a boil. We're now going to reduce it to a medium simmer and let it cook for about 1 hour and 45 minutes. And after 1 hour, you want to stir it every 10 minutes just to make sure that nothing's sticking to the bottom. But we'll check in on it in 1 hour and 45 minutes. Forgot to mention that we need to cover it. So we're gonna cover it, let it go for 1 hour and 45 minutes, and then we're gonna check on it. So we're close to the 2-hour mark, but you can see that it's still not set at all. Still not, you can tell it's still very liquidy. I think we're at 1 hour and a half, so we're still have another ½ hour to go. In the meantime, I'm sterilizing my jars. It has now been 2 hours, and as you can see, we're not quite there yet because it's still, the drop is still very runny. I am going to remove the cinnamon sticks and the cloves, and then I'm going to use my immersion blender and puree it up a bit. So we fished out all the cinnamon sticks and cloves, and now we're going to puree it with the immersion blender. Okay, so it's been 2 hours and I've pureed the jam, and we're looking at a temperature of 218 Fahrenheit or 108 Celsius. I'm going to put it in the description below. But that's what we're looking for, and we're looking for the set point. So I've gone ahead and put a plate in the freezer, and I'm going to let this go for maybe another 5 minutes, and then we're going to check the set point. So we can see that it's a very rich red color. Not red, I would say like almost like a caramel color. So nothing like tomato sauce, and this is what we're looking for. So within the next 5 minutes, we just want to make sure that we keep stirring it so it doesn't stick to the bottom, and we're just going to let it come to the set point. Okay, so after 2 hours, I let it go for another 15 minutes just so we could get to the set point, and I'm going to check that now. I'm going to take I've had this plate in the freezer for a few hours, and I'm going to put some of the jam on the plate and put it back in the freezer for 2 minutes, and then we'll check the set point on it. Okay, so 2 minutes are up, and now we're going to check the set point, and what you want to do is you're just going to run your finger through it and sort of create like a street. In Portuguese, ponte-estrada. So you're looking for that. So if the jam doesn't roll back into that street, that means it is set. And as you can see, our jam is set. All right, so we're now ready to put our tomato jam in the jars. And I've gone ahead and sterilized the jars for 15 minutes in boiling water along with the lids. So let's go ahead and do that. And you want to fill it 3/4 full, or at least leave a little bit at the top so the jam has room to expand. And now I'm just going to clean it off, and as soon as you put it in, I also have a clean paper towel with some vinegar, and I'm just going to clean the top of it like so. And now you want to seal it right away. Make sure you want to make sure it's really sealed, and then you're going to turn it upside down like so, and you're going to leave them upside down until they're completely cooled. So you want to leave a little bit at the top, and then just clean off the jar, and then use your paper towel dipped in the vinegar and wipe off the top. You want to make sure it's really clean and it gets a good seal. And then like so, and turn it upside down. And you can also do a water bath. So you want to bring the stock pot and fill it with water, and then put the jars in and bring it up to a boil for 15 minutes with the jars covered in water. Okay, so here we have it. I was able to get 9 jars of jam, and then this big guy, which we're gonna use now. These ones can keep in the fridge for 6 months. You wanna let the jars cool down completely, and then you keep them in the fridge for up to 6 months, which in our case, usually it won't last that long. So let's have a taste. I have some sourdough bread that I just baked this morning. And like I said, this is a sweet jam, not a savory jam. So you would have it with some bread and butter. That's how we have it at home. So just with some butter, and then let's spoon out some jam. And now let's have a taste. It's just like I remember when my grandma used to make it. So I hope you liked this video. I hope to see you again. Let me know if you make the jam, and thanks for watching.